Call me Vegeta. One more time. Vegeta. This is a part 2 to my first video, so if you haven't watched it yet, which I'm sure you haven't, go watch it. But if you're too lazy to do even that, well, basically, I was forced by my school to cut my hair. Why was I forced by my school to cut my hair? Well, because Cameroon. Anyways, when I was going to the barbershop to go cut my hair, I stopped by at my cousin's place. And by the time I got there, I saw my cousin actually happen to be giving my other cousins a haircut. And it turns out my cousin was terrible at cutting hair. And as a result of that, my cousin ended up with a busted ass patch in her head. I saw this, and now I had two decisions. I could either use my own money to go to the barbershop, or I could risk getting a haircut for free. But me being 10 to 11 at the time, boom, you do the math. Fast forward the next day, and now I have to go to school with this crater on my head. And by the time I actually get dropped off by the taxi, I see about 5 teachers line up in front of the school entrance with most of the students in line going in one by one. And each of them had a pair of scissors in their hand, and they would just give these terrible haircuts on purpose. So after school, you'd be forced to go to the barbershop. I look in front of the line and I just see utter destruction. I'm seeing hairlines being formed, patches being made, and I knew it was really bad when I saw the religious teacher divide somebody's hair into 2. Was he trying to imitate Moses dividing the sea? Who knows? And to be honest, it made me pretty happy. Look, I know it sounds pretty screwed up, but at least I know I was gonna be the only person being made fun of anymore. Why didn't people just see this massacre happen from a distance and just head back home? Now I'm in line to get my hair inspected, and the teacher just looks at me with just this confused face, and then just lets me in. I remember when I went into school, everybody was clowning us, and there was this one guy who was making fun of us that did stand out, though, and his name was Carrie. I mean, look, he only stood out because he was short, and I thought I could beat him up. You see, this is something I noticed that's very screwed up about us humans. Like, we tend to get more angry at others based on how easily we're able to harm them. Let me let that sink in. Let's say you're a manager at a bank, right? And someone tells you your boss is gossiping behind your back. Take that and an entirely different scenario where you're the boss and an employee is talking behind your back. Even if you do say you're gonna react the same in both scenarios, you're gonna get more mad at your employee than at your boss. And if you say otherwise, then you can fool yourself, but not me. Look, what I'm trying to say is I ignored everybody else's insults just because he was one of the few I knew I could actually beat in a fight. Was I wrong for this? Of course I was, but I most definitely wasn't gonna fight one of the girls making fun of me. Shout out to Chris. So at one point, your guy calls me Vegeta, and he keeps on saying this, and it gets to a point where I'm just, at this point, I'm boiling in anger. I was about to send this nigga to the queen. So I tell him, call me Vegeta. One more time. Vegeta. Okay, this never happened. I did nothing and just stood there like a... But even at that young age, I realized that this guy, he was just bored. Like, plus, it was nothing personal. We always made jokes of each other. And at least I was better off than the Moses nigga. And I just ignored him and walked away. And he noticed this, and after that, he just left me alone for the rest of the week till my hair grew back. So yeah, that's really it.